Hello, hello, hello. So, guys, I welcome you all to this interesting session where we'll be analyzing a lot of things on the IPL data set. So, this is the IPL season, and India as a country is a cricket-loving nation, and one of the world's best tournaments is going on right now, which is the Indian Premier League. And we have a bit of data which we have got through an open source data set where we'll be analyzing how different teams have performed across all of the different seasons. So before we start with the session, I'd like to inform you that we have launched a free learning platform called as Great Learning Academy, where you have access to almost 100 courses with respect to data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and a lot more. And once you complete all of these courses, you'll get a course completion certificate which you can go ahead and add onto your resume or onto your LinkedIn profile, which will be a huge value add to you guys. And also, all of these courses have been curated by industry experts. So, also to the folks who are new to our channel, I'd like to request you folks that if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, as it will encourage us to come up with more such live sessions on a regular basis. And also, we have around 74 people watching right now, so if you could just quickly go ahead and hit the like button, that will encourage us a lot. So the YouTube algorithm works in such a way that the likes actually matter. So if you go ahead and hit the like button, more people will know that we are conducting this amazing session right now, and more people can join in and learn more about data analysis with Python and learn how to analyze this IPL data which we have. For most of you folks who are asking me to teach in Hindi, we will definitely have a session in Hindi as well. So that also will be done. What we'll do is maybe we'll schedule it for next week. And since we have students across across the entire country, and also we have students across different countries, so our preferred mode of teaching is English for this particular session. But I'll take your I have considered your request, and we'll definitely arrange a session, the same session in Hindi as well. So, I see that we have around 81 people watching right now. So I'll just wait for a couple of more folks to join in. And also guys, 81 people watching, I quickly want the number of likes to be 81, because it will show us all of the love which it will show us all of the love from your side. That'll be amazing. So please use Hindi and English. Absolutely, I'll try to use a bit of Hindi in general. That wouldn't be a problem. Right. So what I'll do is I'll keep speaking with you folks, and in between I'll quickly open up my Anaconda and Jupyter notebook. So let me just quickly go ahead and do that. So I'm just opening up Jupyter notebook. And in between, if you have any questions with respect to Python or data science in general, you can go ahead and put that up in the chat. I will definitely take it up. Make an ML project video on IPL score prediction. That's an interesting suggestion. So if we are able to scrape any of that sort of data, then we'll definitely do a session on it. And mostly next week we have another session on IPL, and we'll have a lot of sessions on cricket and IPL in general throughout this IPL season. So all of you cricket lovers, you have a big surprise in store, because we are trying to make this, we are trying to teach you a lot of data science and Python related stuff with this popular sport called as cricket. Now I'm just opening up my code file. Just give me a couple of seconds for that. So now what I'll quickly do is I will reduce my screen frame from over here. Let me just do it out over here. Right, and let me also increase this. So now I guess you can see me in a smaller frame because we'll be doing a bit of analysis right now. So just give me a confirmation if you guys can see the code file, and if everything is fine, we'll start off with the session. How long will the stream go? The stream will be for 1 hour. Amit Raut is asking how to be a sports analyst. That's a very good question. So if you have followed movies such as, let's say, Moneyball, or maybe if you have seen this TV series called as Inside Edge, what you do, what they do is that they try to analyze a lot of things about players. Because cricket is a thinking game, isn't it? When you're making a team, it's very important to understand which batsman or which bowler would be the right fit for which particular position. Now, let's just say you might have a fantastic player. So, let's just say if you have, Sehwag. Now, Sehwag is an absolutely fantastic player, but he'll most probably play amazing when he's opening the innings. But then again, if you take Sehwag and if you send him maybe 8 down or 9 down, as an analyst, you're doing a shit job, because that is not how you make a team. So this is where sports and this is where sports analysis comes in, and all of these IPL teams. So whichever IPL team you talk about, they would have a sports analyst with them who can help them out with the perfect team combination. So I hope that answers your question. Can we get the CSV file? Sure, you guys. I guess we'll add the link of the CSV file in the description once the session is done. Great. Now, so now that everything is set, and if you guys can see my screen, I'll just quickly start off with the session. So first we'll have to import all of the required libraries. So in Python, we have these libraries called as Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. Pandas is a library which is used for data manipulation. Then you have Matplotlib, which is used for visualization, and then you have Seaborn, which is built on top of Matplotlib. So here what we're doing is we're just giving an alias. So we are importing Pandas with this alias called as PD. Then after that, from Matplotlib, we are importing PyPlot with the alias PLT. Then going ahead, we are importing this library called as Seaborn, and we are giving this an alias of SNS. Now let me just go ahead and run this piece of code. Let me just wait till this code is compiled, and let me just see what is there in the chat right now. So could you zoom the screen a little bit? Absolutely. Your wish is my command, and I hope you guys can see it properly right now. So, seems like my system is a bit slow today. So we have successfully loaded all of the required libraries. Once we load all of the required libraries, our next task could be to load the file on which we'll be working everything. What I'll do is I'll actually restart and clear output, because you guys can see the output, and I don't want you guys to see the output immediately. Now I'll run the cell again. Right, so now that we have loaded all of the required libraries, I'd have to load the file with the help of pd.read_csv. So this pd.read_csv would help me load a CSV file, and I already have a CSV file called as matches.csv. And this I go ahead and store in this object called as IPL. So now we have also loaded this object. Now if I would want to have a glance at the first 5 records of this data frame, I would have to use the head method. So here I have IPL.head. And as you see, this gives me all of this information over here where I have all of these different columns. Let me just give you a brief information about this entire data frame over here. So we have this ID, which is the unique match ID. Then you have the season, in which season was this particular match played. Then you have the city, in which city was this match played in. You have the date, so exact particular date on which the match was played. Then you have team 1 and team 2. So this match was played on, let's just say this is 5th of April 2017, and this match was between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore. So this column over here tells you which team had won the toss. So between these two teams, Royal Challengers Bangalore had won the toss. And after winning the toss, they had decided to field. And you have the result. So you have three categories over here. We'll actually learn about this going ahead. We'll leave this out for now. Then we have the DL applied column. So let's say if there was a situation, if there was rainfall and if the match was cancelled or maybe something else had happened, and if Duckworth-Lewis method was applied, you would have a 1 over here. So if DL method or the Duckworth-Lewis method was applied, you would have a 1, else you'd have a 0 over here. Then you have the winner, which would tell you which team has won the match. So here between the match, between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad, you see that Sunrisers Hyderabad have won the match. Then you have these two columns over here, win by runs and win by wickets. So here, now if all of you, I believe, are cricket enthusiasts and that is why you're attending the session. Now when we say win by runs, so this would mean that a team batting first has won the match. So let me give you an example. So here Royal Challengers Bangalore had won the toss and they had decided to field, which would mean that Sunrisers Hyderabad are batting first. And let's just say if they had given a score of 100 and Royal Challengers Bangalore were only able to score 65 runs. And this is when we say that Sunrisers Hyderabad has won the match with 35 runs because there's a difference of 35 runs. And when we talk about win by wickets, so let's say if the team batting second has won the match, that is when we'll have some value over here in win by wickets. And in this match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad, you had Yuvraj Singh getting the man of the match award. Then you have venue, the stadium at which this particular match was played on. Then you just have the names of umpire 1, the second umpire and the third umpire. So this is a brief information about all of the data which is there in this data set. Let me quickly go ahead to the chat and see if there are any more questions. So guys, quickly again, we have 123 people watching right now. Let's just quickly make it to 123 likes. That will help us a lot. And YouTube algorithm, as I've told you guys, it works in such a way that as you hit the like, more people would be notified about this session. So if you guys could just do this help, click on the like button and spread your love. That would help us a lot. Sapal Shaka is saying, would have been better if I would have code side by side. Well, as of now, we can't really provide you the code, but once the session is done, we will definitely provide you the code. Or maybe you can mail us at Great Learning Academy, and from Great Learning Academy, you would be able to get the code. Girish is asking, please do a session which would include data cleansing, data manipulation and data wrangling. Sure, we'll keep that in mind. And in today's session as well, what we'll be doing is actually exploratory data analysis. So we'll be doing a bit of data wrangling with the help of the Pandas and Pandas, Matplotlib and the Seaborn libraries. Please share the CSV file. Sure, as I've told you guys, we will add the link for the dataset in the description later on. Tushar is asking, is there any available course regarding Power BI? Yes, you can go ahead to Great Learning Academy. So there you'll definitely find a course on Power BI. And we have Vishal in our team who does a couple of regular sessions on Power BI as well. So maybe once the session is done, you can go ahead to our YouTube channel and just search for Power BI. You will definitely find a video on it. Right. So keep your questions coming in the chat. What I'll do is I'll be taking your questions in between. And right now, let's go back to the code. So now that we have loaded the data set, I would want to have a glance at the shape of the data set. So over here, I have IPL.shape. and this would tell me, this actually gives me a value of 636 and 18, which basically means that there are 636 records and 18 columns. And since each record over here represents a match, a unique match, so this 636 would mean that there are 636 matches comprising in this data frame. Now, I'd want to know the frequency of most number of man of the match awards. So this column which you see, player of the match, I'd want to know which player has won the most number of man of the match awards. So what I'll do is, I'll give in the name of the data frame first, which is IPL, then inside parenthesis, I will give in the name of the column, which is player of match. After that, I'll use the dot operator and use the value counts method. So the value counts method helps me to get a frequency of the different categories in a categorical column. And this is the result which I get. So you would see that Chris Gayle has won the most number of man of the match awards, and he's won 18 man of the match awards. Then you have Yusuf Pathan, who has won 16 man of the match awards. After that you have David Warner with 15, AB de Villiers with 15, Suresh Raina with 14, and so on. And now, from this entire data frame, let's say if I would want the top 10 list, right? So this gives me everything. So this tells me each player, the value of each player, which player has won how many man of the match awards. But that is not what I want. What I want is the top 10 players with most number of man of the match awards. So what I'd have to do is, the entire command will be the same. It's just that after this, I will give in a parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis, I'll write in 0:10, and which is what I've done over here. Now, if I click on run, you would see that we have got the list of top 10 players with the most number of man of the match awards. Right? So you have again Chris Gayle sitting at the top. Then over here you have Michael Hussey, who's currently the coach of Chennai Super Kings, but he was a player with them as well. Now similarly, instead of the top 10, if I wanted only top 5, what I'm going to do is, in this parenthesis, I will give in the parenthesis, I'll give 0:5. So here you have Chris Gayle, Yusuf Pathan, David Warner, AB de Villiers, and Suresh Raina. Now, I'll be doing something interesting over here. I'll be making a visualization. So here I have plt.figure, and since I would want to make a visualization, I am starting off by setting the figure size, and I'm giving the figure size to be equal to 8,5, which are just the dimensions of the image. And I'd want to make a bar plot for the top 5 players with most man of the match awards. So I'll have plt.bar, and there are two main parameters over here. The first parameter would take in categorical values. The second parameter would take in numerical entries. So in the first parameter, since I need categorical values, what I'll do is this command will be the same. But after this, after taking this particular command, I will give in dot keys over here. So after this entire command, when I give in dot keys, what I'll get is I'll get the names of these players, and this is what I've written over here. So let's say if I hit on run, you would see that I have the names or the categories of the top 5 players with most number of man of the match awards. So this is the first parameter. Then in the second parameter, I'd have to give in the values. So to give the values, it's just that I'd have to remove the dot keys method, and I will get the result. And that is what I've given over here. So again 0 to 5, 0 to 5, because I want this information for only the top 5 players. Then I have given a color to the bars, and the color which is given is green. Let's just wait for the bar to be loaded up over here, and you would see that we have successfully made a bar plot representing the top 5 players who have won the most number of man of the match awards. You have Chris Gayle, Yusuf Pathan, David Warner, AB de Villiers, and Suresh Raina. So this is quite interesting over here. Then we had the result column. So most of you folks have asked me what is the result column. So let's just understand that. So IPL result, and I'm using the value counts method on top of that. And you would see that there are three categories over here. We have normal, tie, and no result. Normal would mean that the match has progressed normally. There was no aberration. That means that you have one team winning the match and one team losing the match. Then you have a tie. A tie would mean that the scores were level, right? This is a tie situation. Then you have no result, which would mean that either the match was called off because of some reason. So these are the three categories which are there in this column. Now, before going ahead, again, I'll head to the chat and see if there are any more questions. Shivam Jha is saying, watching Kohli, who is doing the ads of Great Learning. Now I've also become the fan of Great Learning. Thank you very much, Shivam. So Virat Kohli is officially our brand ambassador. And as Virat Kohli believes in perfection, similarly, even we believe in perfection. So he being the leading run scorer or one of the best players in cricket, we aim to be the best learning edtech company in the world, and our aim is to provide high quality education to everyone across the world. So I'm just going through some of your comments. Vishal is saying, yet another interesting session by Bharani sir. Thank you very much, Vishal. It's good to know that you're watching my session. Right. And guys, again, before we head back to the project, if you guys can quickly go ahead and hit the like button, that would be very helpful to us. So we have looked at this particular column. After this, I want to see which team has won the most number of tosses. So I would have the toss winner column. Let me show it to you guys. So you have this toss winner column and you have one team represented over here. Now I will be using the value counts method on top of this, which will tell me which team has won the most number of tosses. So here, as you see, IPL toss winner dot value counts, and when I hit on run, you'd see that Mumbai Indians has won the most number of tosses. So Mumbai Indians has won 85 tosses. Then you have Kolkata Knight Riders close behind with they've won 78 tosses. Then you have Delhi Daredevils who won 72 tosses, and so on. Now, I'd want to understand how teams are performing batting first and batting second. And I've told you that if a team wins batting first, then you will have a value over here. Right? So if a team wins batting first, you will have a value over here. And if a team wins batting second, you will have a value over here. That is why if I'd want to analyze how teams are performing batting first, then what I'd want to do is I'd want to extract all of the records from this table where the value is not equal to 0. And that is the command which I'll be giving over here. So as you see, from the entire IPL data frame, what I'm doing is in the win by runs column, or from the win by runs column, I am extracting only those records where the value is not equal to 0. And I'll store all of those records in this new object called as batting first. So now that I have created this sub data frame from my original data frame, let me have a glance at this. So batting first dot head will give me the top 5 records from this data frame, and you see that we have values over here. So we have extracted all of the records where where we don't have zeros. So this is where teams have won the match batting first. Now I'd want to do something interesting again over here. So from this particular data frame, I'd want to understand what is the range by which teams are winning by batting first. Right, so here as you see, Sunrisers have won the match with 35 runs. Here you have Royal Challengers winning the match with 15 runs. Then you have Delhi Daredevils winning the match with 97 runs. So I'd want to know, what is the normal range by which teams normally win the match. So again, to since this is a numerical column over here, to make a numerical column, to plot a numerical column, I'll be using a histogram. So people normally get confused between a bar plot and a histogram. So histogram is used to understand the distribution of a numerical column, and a bar plot is used to understand the distribution of a categorical column. And since we have a numerical column over here, we'll be making a histogram. And we'll start off again by setting the figure size. So we'll have plt.figure, and I'll set the figure size to be equal to 7,7, which is just the dimension of the image. After that, I'll go ahead and make the histogram. To make the histogram, I will use plt.hist, and inside it, I'll just go ahead and give in the column for which I'd want to make the histogram. And I would want to make this histogram for the win by runs column, and that is what I'm passing inside this. Going ahead, I'd have to set the title for this. So plt.title, I'll give it distribution of runs, X label will be number of runs scored, and plt.show. So as you see, this is the distribution of how teams are winning with respect to how many runs. So this over tells you there have been maybe 100 odd matches where teams have won between 0 to 20 runs. If you look at this, so there would be around 20 odd matches where teams have won the match with maybe 75 to 85 runs. Then you have this. So let's say you have very, very few instances over here. So maybe around there would be only 2 to 3 matches where a team batting first has won the match with more than 100 runs remaining. Similarly over here, so maybe there are only 2 matches, or maybe even there could be only a single match where the team batting first has won by over 140 runs. Right, so in general it would seem that, let's say, teams batting first win between a range of 0 to 40 runs. And anything greater than that, that would be a huge achievement. So here, let's say, if a team batting first wins by 100 runs, then it will have a huge net run rate boost, because this is something which does not happen generally. Again, if you have a team winning by 140 runs, that is just phenomenal. So then, it just, let's say if it has points tied with respect to some other team, then it's for sure that it is this particular team which will have a huge net run rate. So these are the different sort of insights which you can find out from plotting histograms, bar plots, and pie charts. Now I'd want to know which team has won the most number of matches batting first. So we have the batting first data frame, which is the sub data frame which we had created. And again, over there we'll have the winner column, and I would want to check the value counts of it, which basically means that I'd want to know, which team has won how many matches batting first. And here it would seem that Mumbai Indians has won the most number of matches batting first. So Mumbai Indians has won 47 matches batting first. Then you have Chennai Super Kings, who has won 46 matches batting first. So here the difference is not much. But if you look at this, right, the team at the third place, so Kings 11 Punjab. So Kings 11 Punjab has won 32. So you have Kings 11 Punjab winning 32 times batting first. So there's a huge disparity between the number of runs, between the number of wins for the team which is placed second and team which is placed third. So again, quite an interesting observation over here. Now what I'd want to do is, I'd want to make a bar plot for the top 3 teams with most number of wins batting first. Right, I'll repeat it again. I want to make a bar plot for the top 3 teams with most number of wins batting first, which would be these 3 teams over here. And again, I'll go ahead and start off by setting a figure size. So plt.figure, fig size is equal to 7, 7. Now once I set the figure size, I'll have to make a bar plot. So here I will have plt.bar, and here again 2 parameters. The first parameter we know should have to be a categorical values. And here the categorical values I'll be getting if I use the dot keys method, right? So I just have to give dot keys, and as you see over here, since I need the top 3 teams, I've given 0 to 3, which is parenthesis, and I've given dot keys, which will give me the names, which are Mumbai Indians, Chennai Super Kings, and Kings 11 Punjab. Then the second parameter would be the values. To get the values, I'll just remove this keys method. Then I'm setting the colors for these bars. So I've assigned blue color for Mumbai Indians, yellow color for Chennai Super Kings, and orange color for Kings 11 Punjab, because those are similar for their jersey colors. And as you see over here, this bar represents Mumbai Indians, this bar represents Chennai Super Kings, and this bar represents Kings 11 Punjab. So this is how we can create beautiful bar plots using Matplotlib. So let me go back to the chat. Let me take up some more questions. Abhishek is saying, I'm watching your session first time today and I'm glad that I'm part of it. Thanks a lot. I'm glad that this session is helping you a lot, Abhishek. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, I'd request you guys to go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. And for also all of the new folks who are attending our session, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel or clicked on the bell icon, go ahead and do that. We'll be doing a lot of these live sessions on a regular basis. So as instructors, it encourages us to interact with you on a regular basis. And all you can do is you can just show us your love by just hitting on that subscribe button, and that is all we are asking from you guys. And also you can spread the word of mouth about Great Learning. You can tell your peers, you can tell your friends about how we are conducting all of these live sessions on data science, cloud computing, Docker, artificial intelligence, and a lot more. And also, if you haven't yet if you haven't yet liked, I'd request you guys to hit the like button again. That would help us a lot. El Rusher Gaming is asking, what are you teaching right now? So right now we have an IPL dataset with us, and we are performing exploratory data analysis with Python on top of this IPL dataset. Chandra Prakash is asking, will we get a certificate once this session is over? Unfortunately, you will not be getting a certificate for attending this session. So if we actually had a Python live session series, and if you had attended that series, you would have got the certificate. But we'll also have more such series coming ahead. So if you attend our sessions regularly, then you'll know which attending which session will give you certificate. Sanjay is saying, so you're not looking well. Just a bit of cough and cold. I'm mostly fine. Thank you for your concern, Sanjay. Rohit is asking how to find where the values are missing. So someone has already answered it over here. So Suphal Shakha is saying variable.isNull.any. That will work as well. Kartikeya is saying isNull.sum, and that will work as well. Both of the answers, they'll tell you if there are null values or not. I'm just going through your comments. I'm checking if I've missed out on any of your questions. Raghavesh saying Australian site is not working properly, can't open the programs. What do you mean the Australian site? Aditya is asking, can we perform EDA using NumPy only? That would depend on the problem statement, but in general the answer would be no, because EDA you'll normally be performing with pandas and a visualization library such as Matplotlib or Seaborn. So 90% of the times the answer will be no. Nisha is asking, do Great Learning Academy free online certificates has validity? The certificate is for lifetime. So once you complete the course, the certificate is available with you for lifetime. It will not expire. Great. So guys, I'm going back to the code part, and also as it's customary for me to tell you guys that if you haven't yet subscribed, please do subscribe right now, and also if you haven't yet clicked on the like button, please hit on the like button right now. So let's see if we can reach 200 likes before the end of the session, or maybe in the next 5 minutes. So if we can reach 200 likes in the next 5 minutes, that will be wonderful. That will make my day. So if you can just all of you can quickly hit on the like button, that'll be amazing. Right. So now we have made this bar plot, and after this I'd want to understand the distribution of the teams, how they're winning after batting first, or in other words, which team has the highest amount of winning percentage after batting first. And for this I'd have to make a pie chart. I have plt.figure. I will set the figure size to be equal to 7,7. Then I have plt.pie. I have so here there are two parameters. This time when we are making a pie chart, first we will give in a numerical entity or all of the numerical values. Then the second parameter is where we'll be giving the categorical values. So first I have batting first winner dot value counts. So batting first winner dot value counts. So this is what I'll get. So I'll get these values over here. Then I'd want to know the categories. So to get the categories, I'd have to use the keys method over here. Let me hit on run, and you would see that I have got this beautiful pie chart. And as you see, the biggest portion or the biggest pie is for Mumbai Indians. Now if I would want to add a percentage value over here, that is also something which I can do. So I have this parameter called as AutoPCT, and here I'll set AutoPCT is equal to, let me just write 0%, 0.1 f %. Now let me hit on run. Let me remove this underscore from over here. And as you see, with the help of this AutoPCT parameter, I am able to add percentages on top of this pie chart. So the win percentage for Mumbai Indians batting first is 16.4%. Then you have Chennai Super Kings with 16%. Then you have Kings 11 Punjab with 11.1%, and so on. So that is how it proceeds. Let me increase the size of this again. This is a bit too much. Let's just keep it at 125. Now, as we have analyzed for how teams are performing batting first, I would want to do a similar analysis for how teams are doing batting second. So what I'll do over here is, so if I would want to extract all of the teams which have won batting second, then I would need a value over here. Or in other words, it cannot be a 0 in this particular column. Now let me scroll down again, And here, as you see, from the entire IPL data frame, I am extracting only those records where win by wickets is not equal to 0. So when win by wickets is not equal to 0, that would mean the team has one batting first. So the team has one batting second, and that will go ahead and store in this object called as batting second. Then going ahead, I'll have a glance at the first 5 records of the data frame over here. And here, as you see, let me just drag it to the right. So when win by wickets column, you would see that I have only values over here and none of the entry is equal to 0. Now, as we had analyzed this particular column by building a histogram, similarly, I'd want to understand the distribution by which teams are winning by batting second. I'd want to know what is the distribution in wickets. So we'll start off again with the same thing. I will set the figure size to be equal to 7,7. Then I'm making a histogram, and since I'm making a histogram, I can directly pass in the column over here. So from the batting second data frame, I am selecting the win by wickets column, and I will use the number of wins to be equal to 30, and I'll have plt dot show over here. So as you see, so this over here on the horizontal axis, this represents the number of wickets by which the team has won. So if you look at this, this value is 70. So there have been 70 matches where teams batting second have won the match with 7 wickets remaining. Right, so this tells you a lot. Again, so this is maybe around 67 or 68 matches. There are 67 or 68 matches where teams batting second have won the match with 6 wickets in hand. And if you look at these two over here, there are very few instances. So this maybe there would be around only 3 or 4 matches where teams batting second have won with only 1 wicket in hand. Over here again, maybe you would have 3 or 4 matches where teams batting second have won with 2 wickets in hand. If you look at this, there would be maybe 9 or 10 matches where teams batting second have won with 10 wickets in hand, which would mean that not even a single wicket was lost. So there were around 9 or 10 matches where the team batting second has not even lost a single wicket and has chased down all of the runs and has chased down its target. Now similarly, as we had created the pie chart for this, what we are going to do is we'll start off by looking which team has won the most number of matches batting second. So you have batting second winner dot value counts over here, and you would see that Kolkata Knight Riders has won the most number of matches batting second. So it has won 46 matches. Then you have Mumbai Indians, which has won 44 matches batting second. Then you have Royal Challengers Bangalore, which has won 42 matches batting second, and this is how it proceeds. Now I would want to make a bar plot for the top 3 teams which have won most number of matches batting second, and since I'm making a figure again, I would have to set a figure size. So plt.figure, fig size is 7,7, and I'm making a bar plot, so it will be plt.bar. And over here, since the first parameter has to be categorical values, I'll have batting second winner dot value count. Since I would want only the top 3 teams, I will give 0, 3 over here. Then I will use the dot keys method, which will give me the names. So names would be Kolkata Knight Riders, Mumbai Indians, and Royal Challengers Bangalore. Second parameter is this, where I'll be getting only the values. The third parameter is where I'm assigning the colors to these bars. So for Kolkata Knight Riders, I'm assigning a color of purple. For Royal Challengers, next we have Mumbai Indians. For them, I'm assigning the blue color. Then we have Royal Challengers Bangalore, and for them, we are assigning the red color. Let me quickly hit on run over here, and you would see that these are the top 3 teams winning the most number of matches batting second. So interesting observation over here again. Now let's go ahead and quickly make a pie chart as well. So plt.pie. First parameter would be numerical entries dot value counts, and the second parameter would be dot keys, and I already set the auto PCT over here. And as you see, Kolkata Knight Riders with the maximum win percentage batting second, which is 13.6%. Then you have Mumbai Indians with 13%. Then you have RCB with 12.4%. So let me quickly head on to chat and see if there are any more questions. Rohit is asking what is bins is equal to 30. Okay, let me just show that to you folks. Here, let's say if I set the number of bins to be equal to 5, this is what you have. So as you see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Let me actually reduce the size of this a bit. Let me make it proper. 110% should be fine over here. Again, let's say if I take the number of bins to be 8, you will have 8 bins over here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Similarly, if I set the number of bins to be equal to 10, then you'll have 10 bins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. I've given a value of 30 because I would want to clearly know the exact value, right? I've given a value of 30 because I would want one single bin representing one single wicket, right? So that is why I've given a huge value over here. So if you want all of these side by side or, alongside each other, you can reduce the value. So let's say if you want only 3 bins instead of 30 bins, you can set the value to be equal to 3, and here you would see that you have only 3 bins. So I hope that answers your question. And for Aditya is asking, is the data set up till 2019? So the data set is till 2018, I believe. I'm not sure, it's still 2018 or 19. We'll actually know that. There's a column which would tell the season. So this would let us know. Rohit is asking what is the difference between categorical and continuous variable. That's a good question. So let me head back. So when it comes to a categorical column, so here as you see you have team 1, team 2. You have different categories over here. When I say categories, you will have the name of a team is a category, isn't it? Sunrisers Hyderabad is category 1. Mumbai Indians is category 2, Gujarat Lions is category 3 and so on. Now similarly if you have a city, so Hyderabad is the first category, Pune is the second category, Rajkot is the third category. So all of these columns are categorical columns. Now if you look at this column, so win by runs, this is a continuous numerical column. You don't have categories. So let's say if you have a number such as 27, that is not a category because all of these numbers are fluid, aren't they? So from 1 you can maybe have a lot of numbers over here. So you don't have fixed categories. So this is the difference between a continuous numerical column and a categorical column. Some of you folks are saying that you guys have registered but you're not able to get the PDF. I'm only using a code file. I'm not using a PDF over here. So that is why I don't think you'll have access to any of the PDF. Let me head back and see if there are any more questions. Hydocard is saying you guys are amazing and I've shared your channel with 5 of my friends to subscribe. Thank you very much, Hydocard. That means a lot. Okay, some of you folks are saying that you're getting the file. That's good. Okay, so guys, quickly, we have 106 folks watching. We've got around 10 minutes left. If you haven't yet subscribed, quickly hit on the subscribe button. If you haven't yet liked, quickly hit on the like button as well. Right, so quickly go ahead and do that. Now, since we have done this, let's see what else are we left with. Alright, so we have the season column in the IPL data frame, and I'd want to know how many matches were played in each season. So I have IPL season dot value counts. I click on run, and this is what we get. So this data frame comprises of seasons from this starts from 2008 and goes on till 2017. Right, so 2017 is the final season, and we have data till 2017 over here. So, and over here, this would tell you that 76 matches. So there were 76 matches played in the 2013 season. There were 74 matches played in the 2012 season. And in the 2009 season, you had the lowest number of matches. In the 2009 season, you had only 57 matches being played. So this is some interesting information for you folks. Then you have IPL city dot value counts. This would tell me in which particular city most number of matches were played. So it would seem that most number of matches were played in Mumbai. So 85 matches were played in Mumbai. Then you have Bangalore, so 66 matches were played in Bangalore. Then you have Kolkata, 61 matches were played in Kolkata. So Mumbai, obviously we have the Wankhede Stadium. So Wankhede is obviously a great stadium, and that is why most of the matches are played over there. Now, I'd want to know if there's a relationship between a team batting first or a team winning the toss and a team also winning the match. Let me quickly scroll back up. So here you would have two columns. So let's say we have this toss winner column and we have this winner column. I'd want to know if the value in this toss winner column is equal to the value in this winner column, which would mean that the team which has won the toss has also won the match. And that is what I am trying to analyze over here. So IPL toss winner is equal to IPL winner. I'd want to see in how many of these instances this will be a true. And wherever it is true, I would want to sum that up. So np.sum will sum up all of the truths which I'll get from this particular condition. And it would seem that there have been 325 matches. So out of these 636 matches, there were 325 matches where the team winning the toss has also won the match. Now let me see what is the percentage of this. So this would come to around 51%. So 51% of the times in IPL, the team which has won the toss has also won the match. So this is an interesting observation. So this would tell you that there is no clear-cut relationship between a team winning the toss and also winning the match. Let's say, on the other hand, if instead of being 50%, if it were 70%, then you can clearly say that it's a team winning the toss has more of an advantage to win the match. But here, it would seem that there is no such advantage or not a clear advantage which you can decipher from a team winning the toss and going ahead to win the match as well. Right. So we have around 5 minutes left. We have a bit of things to do. What we'll do is we'll also cover that up. So here we have another data frame called as deliveries.csv. So we'll have pd.read_csv. We'll give it the name of the file, which is deliveries.csv, and go ahead and store it in this object called as deliveries. Then going ahead, I'll have a glance at the top 5 records of this data frame. So it will be deliveries dot head, and as you guys see over here, this data frame gives me ball by ball information of each match. So in the earlier data frame, we had this ID column. So right, this match ID 1 represents that particular match between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore. And as you guys see over here, we have ball by ball information. So first over ball 1, first over ball 2, first over ball 3, and so on. And for the first 5 balls, you would see that it was David Warner on the strike and Shikhar Dhawan on non-strikers end, and the bowler was T.S. Mills. Now I'd want to extract all of the unique match IDs. So deliveries match ID dot unique. I'll click on run, and as you see, we already know that there are 636 unique matches. So if you look at this particular result over here, you have the IDs starting from 1 going on till 636. Now out of all of these IDs, I would want to analyze only this particular match where the match ID is equal to 1. Or in other words, I'd want to analyze this particular match between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore. So match ID is equal to 1, match 1 dot head, and this is what I have. Now I'll have match 1 dot shape. This would tell me that there are 248 records and 21 columns. Now what does this 248 records mean? So in a T20 match, normally you have 20 overs per side. So when we say 20 overs, that would be 120 balls per side, isn't it? So 120 plus 120, that will give you 240 balls. So in a normal T20 match, there would be 240 legitimate deliveries. But you have 248 records over here. So what does that mean? So this basically means that there were 8 extras in the match. So these 8 extras could be wides, no balls, byes, or leg byes, right? So this 8, you had 240 legitimate deliveries. The 8 extra balls were either wides or no balls. So that again is an interesting information. And now from this entire match, I'd want to analyze only the first innings, which was of Sunrisers Hyderabad. So I have match 1 inning is double equal to 1, and that I will store in this object called as SRH. Then I'd want to see how how these batsmen have scored runs. So SRH batsman runs dot value counts. Let me just show you the column over here. So we have this column batsman runs. So here, as you see, in the third ball of the first over, David Warner has hit a 4. So this is basically what we have over here, right? So batsman runs, either you have a single, double, or so on. And now I will scroll down over here. And as you see, this would tell us that in the entire first innings, or in the innings of Sunrisers Hyderabad, there were 57 singles, 32 dot balls, 17 fours, 9 sixes, 9 couples, and there was 1 triple taken. And similarly, if I want to see how were the batsmen of SRH taken out, I have the dismissal kind column. So SRH dismissal kind dot value counts. You would see that only 4 wickets of SRH have fallen down. 3 of them have been caught and 1 was bowled. And if I want to do a similar analysis for Royal Challengers Bangalore as well, so what I'll do is match 1 innings needs to be equal to 2 because RCB has batted second over here. And that I will store in this object called as RCB. Then batsman runs dot value counts. I'll hit on run. So for the second innings, for the innings of Royal Challengers Bangalore, you would see that there are a lot of dot balls, and this might be the reason why the team lost in this particular match, right? So when it came to SRH, there were only 32 dot balls. But when it came to RCB's innings, there were 49 dot balls, which is a lot, right? So RCB had how many? 17 more dot balls when compared to SRH's innings. There were 44 ones, 15 boundaries, 8 sixes, and there were 7 twos. Now similarly, if I would want to see how the RCB batsmen were dismissed, so I have RCB dismissal kind dot value counts, and here you would see that you have all of the wickets being fallen down, so or RCB were all out. So out of the 10 wickets, 6 of the batsmen were caught, 2 were bowled, and there were 2 runouts as well. And that is how RCB had collapsed in this particular match. So guys, we are successfully done with this session, and we have analyzed a lot of things in this particular session. We've performed a comprehensive exploratory data analysis where we've used Matplotlib, where we used pandas as well. And let me see if there is anything in the chat that I should take up before ending the session. So most of you folks are requesting for the data set. So what we'll do is we'll just add it in the description. So someone from our team will add it in the description in a time. And guys, thank you very much. Hope this session was fruitful to you folks. And before ending the session, a quick reminder to hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell icon. So guys, I have to remind you folks to hit the subscribe button a lot, because again, we are not charging any money from you guys to take all of these sessions. All of these are absolutely free, and all we want is to provide high quality education to everyone across the world. And if you can just hit the subscribe button, that will grow the channel, and also you can spread the word of mouth about Great Learning so that your friends, your peers, your colleagues can know more about Great Learning and what we are doing over here. And also, if you can, before signing off, if you can quickly hit the like button, that will also be wonderful. So if you hit the like button, what that does is it will show up in the notification feed of people who are interested in this kind of stuff, who are interested in data science or data analytics and are interested in cricket and how to use data science in the world of cricket. Right, so if you could just quickly hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, that would be wonderful. So thank you very much, and I'm signing off for now. Have a great weekend, folks.